Good evening and welcome to our regular county council meeting. We are now. Good evening and welcome to our Williamsburg County, our regular scheduled regular county council meeting of Williamsburg County. We are now doing a public hearing, which is supposed to start at 5:45. Please accept our apologies. Public hearing is in regards to ordinance number 2023-06, an ordinance authorizing and approving the development of a joint county industrial and business park pursuant to section 4-1-170 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina 1976 as amended, in conjunction with Berkeley County, such park to be geographically located in Berkeley County. The execution and delivery of a written park agreement with Berkeley County as to the requirement of payments of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to park property and the sharing of the revenues and expenses of the park. 3, the distribution of revenues from the park within Williamsburg County, and 4 other matters related thereto. That is what our public hearing is about.
Come no seat. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Welcome, this is your first meeting.
I'm Nicole Wyman. I'm the new editor of the paper.
Oh my
For
goodness.
King Street
Yes,
News.
great. Congratulations.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you, Kelvin Watson.
Nice to meet you too.
Second day of the job, I interviewed her this afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Make sure- We got a, yeah, we got a pool.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we got it.
Good evening, and thank you all for being with us here tonight at our regular called Williamsburg County Council meeting. At this time, we will ask Councilman Wilson, if you would please give us the invocation. Councilman Wilson.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we thank you once again for allowing us to assemble in this place. We ask you, dear Lord, to look in on this meeting, bless it, so that we may do the bid of this county. We ask you, dear Lord, to bless our coming in and our coming out. All these blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Councilman Wilson. At this time, we will entertain a motion for the approval of our minutes from our May 1st, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's a motion by
Second, Miller.
Councilman Lee and seconded by Councilman Miller. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. All right, ordinances, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2023-06, an ordinance authorizing and approving the development of a joint county industrial and business park pursuant to Section 4-1-170 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina 1976 as amended in conjunction with Berkeley County, the park, such park to be geographically located in Berkeley County, the execution and delivery of a written park agreement with Berkeley County as to the requirements of payments of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to park property and the sharing of the revenues and expenses of the park, the distribution of revenues from the park within Williamsburg County, and other matters related thereto. Is there a motion to accept third reading of this motion?
Motion to accept.
Of this ordinance, excuse me. So we have a motion to accept by
Councilman
Councilman
Miller.
Miller. Is there a second?
Second, Wilson.
All right, we have a second by Councilman Wilson. Are we ready for questions? All right. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. Thank you so much. There are no second readings, but we will have the first reading of our Williamsburg County 23-24 proposed operating budget, but we'll have first reading in title only. In title only. Is there a motion to accept first reading?
Motion to accept first reading.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Wilson. Is there a second?
Second by Hales.
Second by Councilwoman Hales. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you so much. Other item agendas, the airport infrastructure grant, AIG project number 45-0033-022-2023 for the Williamsburg County Regional Airport. I believe that information is in you all's packet. This is a grant that we have applied for the airport, and I need an action on council in order to accept it. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept.
We have a motion to accept by Councilman Miller. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have the second by Councilman Lee. Are we ready for questions? All right. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so be it. Thank you. Boards and commissions, new appointments or reappointments to the Aeronautics Commission. I did have a request from Councilman Floyd, who is on the way here. He asked that we table this until the next meeting. I'm assuming we probably need a motion to table this to the next meeting. Is there a motion to table this?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Lee to table this to the next meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Wilson. Are we ready for questions? All right, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so be it. Thank you so much. Number 3, discuss the procedure to name county roads. Attorney Jenkinson, I think you have some information for us on that.
Thank you and good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of council. I had drafted this in writing for you and I'll submit it. We just didn't get it out. We've been pressed to the metal all this week. It's Monday today too, and probably Monday tomorrow as well. Here's the situation we've come up. We have several requests to name roads in Williamsburg County. In both instances, one is a new subdivision road, and the second one is just a road that was never marked in an E911 system. The Planning Commission ordinance requires that County Council approve it, but that's about all it says. So the tax assessor asked me to develop and recommend a policy for doing that. And that's going to be forthcoming, but I wanted to explain it to you and see if I can answer any questions. The first step in that policy is to prepare an application. That application will, number one, the person applying for it will put their name, address, telephone number, email address, and the tax map number that is associated with this road. Second thing they would put with it is a copy of the map or plat that goes with it and a copy of the GIS map so we can have a really good understanding of it. The second thing is the proposed name or names for the road. And the reason I use the term names, if there is already a road in the county using that name, it cannot be used, obviously. So that has to be placed in it. First preferred, second preferred, even third preferred. Then that information is provided to the tax assessor. The tax assessor will have these forms. They can be emailed. You can have them. You can give people these forms. Now, with that information, the tax assessor then has to go to E911 and put it in, see if it's available in the system, make sure the road name clears and will fit in that system, and make sure there's no E911 procedure or problems with naming the road. Checking that box and everything's good, then it will be referred to the council member in whose district that road is located. And it looks like a couple of them may be in Council Member Lee's home. I'm not sure, but it's in the Hemingway area. So in any event, then you would be tasked with investigating it. Now, if you know it, and you may just pick up the phone and call somebody and say, is this what you want to do? And that may be sufficient. It doesn't mean you need to go out and ride the road. One of the requirements that I omitted in number 1 is got to be a road that's 40 feet in width. We cannot take a road for any purpose less than 40 feet. Now, you say, why 40 feet? It only takes about 22 or 5 feet for 2 vehicles. That allows for ditches, light poles, cable TV, underground telephone wiring, and utilities. That's the minimum standard. If you go in a bank to borrow money on that property, if you ain't got a 40-foot road, they ain't gonna loan you any money either. So that is the minimum. Okay. Also, for purposes of emergency vehicles, fire trucks, ambulances, school buses, and those kind of things, they just cannot negotiate a two-rut road like existed 100 years ago. So let's understand that. Now, going forward, once you're satisfied, you will then give it to the council clerk to be placed on the agenda, and she will notify me, and I'll prepare a resolution authorizing that name being selected and identifying the location and information from the application. One vote, you would raise that and put it on the agenda, come up, and it's voted on by council. If it's accepted, the clerk will then hand it to the tax assessor to be officially approved as a road. That's the only way I know we can get this process and get all the problems out of the way before we get there. To try to do it in a quicker way is the problem. Now, while I'm on roads, let me touch on one issue that just came up. Recently, we've been getting some plats, and plats require minimum size lots. No water, no sewer available. It's got to be 1 acre. And if you have water and no sewer, it can be, I think, 7/10 of an acre. And if it's got city water and sewer, it can be a half-acre lot. But what we've come into is the road will go across the front of the lot, and half of the road is on the lot, and lot size it shows as an acre, but it isn't, because the road takes up a good portion of the lot. We cannot accept those. And some of the surveyors have been doing them anyway, and it's just caused some havoc and some people getting upset. But a acre lot with a 20-foot road going across the front of it, that's half of a road, is not an acre. Just that simple. And you say, well, why do we have these regulations like this? Well, we got them because you're responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of this county. The reason we do this is for those reasons. And that's our ordinance. If you don't like it, change it. But again, you may run in foul of things, and those are going to be some things that will be coming up to you probably in the fall when we're looking at rewriting it, and that'll be a problem for our new county attorney. That's an alligator. That's a pond full of alligators on that one. So, that's any questions about that road naming procedure?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
One of the questions was asked me if to change a road. So we to change from a name from a road, from one name, from Jones to Pearl. Do we have to? Is that pretty much the same procedure we have to go through?
Absolutely. The problem is once it's locked in the E911 system, to change a name is exceedingly difficult, and I will address that as well. But as far as I know, that's not easy as it sounds, because you have to change every single address on that road. One person may want it, but you got to get the consent of every person on that road, because you're changing their postal address. You got that E911 that goes to the post office. It's got school bus. It's a can of worms. I would urge you to discourage that because of all of the problems associated with it. People don't like to have their address changed, and that's something that you would have to determine. Just making an ask for one person is a no-no. You got to get the consent of everybody on that road.
Yeah, I had that on one of the other roads, and of course that's the procedure we went.
Yeah.
But this road only had one person living on it.
Well, and that makes
And they have written a statement that they don't mind changing the address and everything.
and we'll check that out, because there may be some other procedures. For example, names on plats. You know, you can't go back and change a plat that's made 10 years ago and recorded in the courthouse. You can't go and write on it and say that's not the road anymore. It just have to be careful with changing names of roads. That's something that I would discourage. Now, can it be done? I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
good. Are there any other questions for Attorney Jenkinson? No. Thank you so much, Attorney Jenkinson. All right. At this time, we will have Ms. Marva Canyon, who is the chairwoman for the Board of Trustees for the Williamsburg County School District. Madam Chairwoman, so good to see you again.
Good evening,
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor, County Council. Thank you for this opportunity to address you on behalf of the Williamsburg County School District Board of Trustees. We came to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to our hearts, and that is the education of the students in Williamsburg County. As a school board, we find ourselves in a position where we must face some hard facts. The strength, survival, and success of Williamsburg County heavily depend on all of us working together towards the restoration of the ability of parents, citizens, stakeholders, and the school board to shape, define, and guide our students' educational experience. We support your mantra of partnership, of supporting each other, of collaboration, and of putting aside the petty differences that so easily beset us. Just a little background. The South Carolina Department of Education came down on April 11th, 2018, and declared a state of education emergency on Williamsburg County. At that time, there were major financial issues, there were major federal programmatic issues, and only 2 schools in Williamsburg County were accredited. Well, in January of 2020, the citizens of this county elected a new board, and we went to work to do the job we were elected to do. And we started meeting together, and we met with the State Department of Education to figure out what can we do to have the restoration we need to do the jobs we were elected to do. To our surprise, the State Department said they didn't have a plan. It was us who said to them, well, let's do a transition plan with timelines and dates. Though we never got it in writing at our request, we did get some verbal things that we should do, and we got a list of things that we should do, and I will share with you that it was not a list, it wasn't a crystal stairway. We had obstacles to overcome. We were tackled, we were knocked down. We had stumbling blocks put in our way, but we made the stumbling blocks our stepping stones. And I will tell you that we accomplished everything they gave us, and we did it exceptionally well. So well that the state superintendent, the former state superintendent, said, job well done. I find no fault. You've made a touchdown, even a 2-point conversion. I will return the ability for you to perform your jobs as you were elected to do. Well, moving forward, we have a new state superintendent who came in and said, wait a minute, you haven't made enough academic growth. And they called back the 2-point conversion. Not only did they call back the 2-point conversion, they moved the goalpost. And we don't know where it is. It's in some undisclosed location, hidden somewhere in the forest. But we contend and we call foul because they looked at data that was thwarted by the pandemic. No child in the country went to school for 2 years because of COVID. No child in the country was tested for 2 years because of COVID. The State Department came to Williamsburg County, and on the year that the students were tested across the country, the test scores have no reliability or validity because all the children were not in school. Some were tested at home. Some the parents had to bring in. But these are the test scores they looked at and said, we have not shown enough academic growth. We contend that they have not recognized our students' academic, social, or emotional growth. We challenged our principals, teachers, and students to have the courage to commit to hard work, and they've done that. Our most recent MAP data will show, and we have it at your disposal for you to look at. The data will show significant academic growth. We know that MAP data is a precursor to what students will do on the state exams. And I can tell you, we expect that number to even have significantly grown by the time those test scores are in. We feel that it is very important for the state to recognize what our teachers and students are doing. I told you in 2018 only 2 schools were accredited. Well, now all of our schools are accredited. We have a system-wide phonics program, tier 2 and 3 interventions. We have Saturday school. Our children no longer have to leave Williamsburg County to go to the governor's school because the governor's school is in Williamsburg County. We invite you to visit our schools. We have gaming rooms. We have broadcasting. My goodness, the King Street High School band director has been nominated for a Grammy. We feel it's important that the state recognize our growth. And as I begin to close, I know I'm close to my time. We do believe as a board that as long as the state keeps this cloud of doom, darkness, and despair over Williamsburg County, it will hinder economic growth. It will hinder academic success. It will hinder population growth. And yes, we will continue to be seen by industries that you're trying to bring in as a county of instability and uneasiness that promotes fear and uncertainty. And yes, employment deficits and possibly even the loss of students. We're trying to bring our brightest and our best back to Williamsburg County. We've met with Representatives Kirby and Atkinson and with Senator Sabb. They have publicly stated that they do support us in asking the state to reconsider this extension of the stay of education emergency. They have actually met with Ms. Weaver and said to her that they are very dissatisfied because they have full confidence in this board. The South Carolina School Board Association stands with us. They support us and are partnering with us and asking Ellen Weaver to reconsider her position on Williamsburg County. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People have met with us. They support us, they partner with us, and they stand with us. Tonight we ask you, County Council, because you're stakeholders, we are building your workers. We're preparing them to become your workforce. And so we ask you tonight to stand with us, to support us, and partner with us, and also to provide a letter of support to the State Department of Education, asking them to reconsider their vote to extend the state of emergency on Williamsburg County. We feel that their presence here is punitive, and it has certainly been long enough. Thank you for your time, and we can answer any questions that you may have if it's okay, Supervisor.
Yes, so does anyone have any questions? Councilman Lee?
I don't want to ask a question. I want to make a statement if I could.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
I've been with the school board. I believe I was there for 30 years, but anyway, it's kind of near and dear to my heart. But anyway, this is my take, and this only coming from me.
Yes, sir.
Only from me. I think it's time to reestablish our local school board. The state has been in charge for the last 5 or 6 years, and if I heard right from some of the administrators, the test scores are lower now with the state handling it than they were with the local control. I say reestablish the school board, let them select the superintendent, and this way the citizens will have someone to air their complaints and grievances. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want the state running anything that I'm connected with. And that's just my opinion, and I thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Any of the other councilors?
I thank you, Marva, for coming and informing us. I too stand with him. I really do believe it's time that we get back in control, because a lot of things are based on our education and that we're in control of our education here. And like you say, they really aren't giving you much, as they'll say they need this or need that, and you've already excelled from so many things since the years ago when they took control. So I really do. I believe, and I stand with you.
Yeah, I just would like to, did you get a letter from Senator or Representative Kirby stating that they would request that you take back over the school?
Yes, sir. We have met with them, and they are penning a letter of support.
Okay, they are penning it.
Yes,
you
sir.
haven't received it yet?
We have not received it yet.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else? All right. Thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
your-
again for your time. Thank you for your comments, and we anticipate full support from this council as we stand together with you. And before I take my seat, we do want to thank you because we were meeting in a staff development room, but you saw our need and you collaborated with us, and you have allowed us to come and meet in this nice facility, and we thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you and the other board members for all that you do to promote the education of our children here in Williamsburg County. Thank you all. We wish you all the very best of success. And I guess we will be meeting as a council and hopefully making a decision as to what direction that we're going to go as it relates to giving you all a letter of support or some sort of resolution of some sort. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Yes. All right. We have an item that we need to discuss in executive session. It's a contractual matter regarding economic development. I see that Mr. Frison is here. Is there a motion to go into executive session? So we have a motion by Councilman Lee. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilwoman Hales. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will be in executive session for a few moments. Thank you all.
Mr. Supervisor, I make a motion we go back into open session.
All right, we're back, and we've already have a motion from Councilman Lee to come out of executive session. Is there a second? Councilman Miller has seconded that motion. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are back in session, and there was no action taken. All right, we do not have anything to report tonight from the county supervisor's desk, other than there will be a finance and budget committee meeting this coming Thursday at 3 p.m. here in this room, and it will be live streamed as well. Do any of the council members have anything else for the good of the county? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All right. We have a motion by Councilman Wilson and a second by Councilman Miller. Are we ready for questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight, and we thank you for everything that you do for the great county of Williamsburg. Thank you.